Just over 3 months ago, the RWBY OC contest as part of the Phoenix Festival tournament began, and now, after over 700 entries into the contest, it is finally time to announce the results. I want to first say thank you to everyone who put so much time and effort into creating their characters and for submitting them to this contest. It has been an absolute pleasure reading through all of them, and I gotta say it was extremely difficult to narrow the number down to only 32 to enter into the tournament that will be beginning at the start of August, and even more so to narrow it down to just the 12 that are going to be eligible for prizes from the contest itself. If your character was not selected for any of the prizes or for the tournament itself, that is by no means a reflection on your character or creativity. There were so many characters that could have qualified, but I had to narrow down the list to only 32. So please be proud of the characters that you created, because every single one of them is amazing and should be celebrated. But now we should get into the results of the contest. I want to apologize in advance for butchering any of the names that I'm going to attempt to pronounce, because there are a few from different languages, as well as different artist names and the names of the creators, etc. I will be sending out emails tomorrow to all of the people eligible for prizes, as well as entering into the Phoenix Festival tournament to gather your information so I can send the prizes to you, or to just get more information on your characters so we can start going over them in specific videos starting next weekend. But with that, we will start off with the weapons category of the OC contest. In our third place, we have the weapon named Artemis, used by Opal Isatis, created by Jagage. This weapon is a bow combining gravity and lightning dust to create an electromagnetic field to shoot projectiles at long distances with high precision. This weapon is specialized for long range, as is the character. Focusing on this along with their semblance, this weapon is extremely creative. There were quite a few archers that were submitted to the contest, and there are a couple archers in the tournament as a whole, but Opal's weapon is unique by the combination of dust that is used. And being a specialized long-range fighter, I'm curious to see how they will go up against other long-range combatants and how they will deal with close-range combatants as well. I really love this weapon's design, and I love seeing the combination of different dust, how people can be creative with it, as we will see with other weapons on this list as well. In our second place, though, we have the weapon named Iron Sleeves, wielded by Hyacin Everard, created by Pmolly. This weapon to me was extremely unique. Not only does it have ice dust woven into the clothes, it is a pair of long sleeves that can act like whips. It is a step away from, just using regular whips to actually having your clothing be extendable and having mechanics woven in with it. I loved the design so much that I had to give it the second place on this list, and they will be participating in the tournament. With their acrobatic style of movements, it'll be very fascinating to see how everything turns out. And then the first place weapon is named Winter's Wrath, wielded by Freya Meinwen, created by the user JamFilledJars. This weapon is a pair of dual paper fans, each imbued with a different type of dust woven into it, one with ice dust and one with wind dust. These weapons, in combination with Freya's semblance, allow her to create blizzards around herself. But the unique part about these weapons is, while the dust is being used, the particles being spread around and creating those blizzards or used for attacks, there are small particles of dust collecting within the fans themselves and creating dust daggers to be used in a pinch. They're created over time, so they're not readily available, but as the battle drags on, they will become available. It is such a unique design, and I love how it fits with the semblance, as well as the character's inspiration of a Yuki Onna, or a snow woman, and everything just fits so perfectly with this character, revolving around their weapon, in my opinion, and it fits so well that I had to give them the winning spot in the weapons category. But now we move on to the Semblances category. And our third place in the Semblances category is the Semblance of Animated Sketch, used by Onyx Aratoile, I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly, created by Artemis Skora. This semblance is essentially ink manipulation. You know how Neptune can manipulate water once he is in contact with it? Well, Onyx has the ability to do the same thing with ink, including the tattoos on his body. He has tattoos placed all around his arms and covering his body. As long as his skin is exposed, he can animate these tattoos and use them as the things that they are in the structure of. If he has tattoos of vines, he can use those to swing, etc. And if he has tattoos of fire or ice, it can mimic the thing it's shaped as, though it doesn't actually have the elemental attributes of it. The ink can be damaged, and when it returns to his body, it will still be broken apart or damaged, so he constantly has to touch up his tattoos. It is a very unique semblance, and I love the inclusion of not only being able to manipulate ink in the way of painting or something like that, but actually having it tattooed on the person's body and being able to animate them like that. It gives a lot of creative opportunity and is just a semblance I really, really like. And then our second place semblance is the ability of flow motion, used by the character Goch Knight. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced the first name, but this was created by David Harmon. This semblance was a very unique twist on, I find, Merrow's semblance. How Merrow stops the momentum of someone else, Goch instead stops his own momentum. And when he stops his own momentum, that allows him to give himself a burst of momentum in a specific direction that he desires, allowing him to get close quarters with somebody very quickly. This is such a unique semblance. Being able to stop his own momentum does make him a little bit vulnerable, but he can close the gap with opponents very quickly, and this gives so much versatility with just a simple ability, something that I had never considered before, and it definitely stood out. Not to mention also the tie-in with the character's inspiration, Lancelot du Lac, or Lancelot of the Lake from Arthurian legend. You know, of the lake, having waves and water, flow motion kind of tying in with the flow of momentum. It definitely has that good connection with the character's inspiration, and in my opinion it deserves the second spot on this list. And then the semblance that I put in the top spot is named Avenging Spirit, used by the character Akari Kozima, created by Myalis Ray. This semblance is a power augmentation style semblance, very similar to Yang's semblance in a couple ways, but also very different in the way that it's limited. Akari's semblance builds up power by landing consecutive hits against an opponent's aura, and every 9 hits that he lands, his power and speed increases, and this is represented through his aura. Like Yang, when she activates her burn, her hair lights on fire. In Akari's case, he gets a flaming tail, and can build up a total of 9 of them, so his power can increase in 9 different stages. Of course, his representation, or the inspiration of his character being the Kitsune, or the 9-tailed fox, and I love the representation in a user's aura, that building up power represents another tail of the Kitsune. I've always thought of trying to actually create a 9-tailed fox character, but I never really found a way to put that into a character's design, but seeing how it was designed here and how it is very well represented in the user's aura and is not broken by any means, as it doesn't necessarily give like an overpowering advantage with a single tail, but it has to build up over time, struggles against defensive opponents. Like, there's still proper checks and balances with this semblance, and I really, really love the overall design of the character, the semblance, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this character performs in the tournament as well. But now let's move to the art category, and save the best for last, which is the overall design. Now, having an artistic representation of your character was by no means necessary for entering into this contest. As you've already seen in the weapons and semblance categories, not every character had art representing them, which was completely fine. But there were separate categories for the artists, because there are so many amazing artists out there, and I wanted to give them their chance to shine. This was extremely difficult as well, just choosing 3 artists to win prizes, because there are an incredible amount of extremely talented artists that aren't, doing commissions or that well known or anything like that. So even though there are only the 3 that are going to be shown here and winning prizes, I still kind of want to make a video showcasing a lot of the other art that was represented throughout this contest, because there are just so many artists that deserve all the credit and accolades in the world. Like, my god, there's so many good artists. But the 3 that ended up winning this contest are the following characters and their artists. We have Saige Cristallo by Maximum Panic. We have Arian Pastel by Frey B. And we have Ramil Malek by Malochroma. All three of these designs are really incredible in my opinion. The vibrant colors that are represented in each image, the detail in each of their designs, how they represent the character's attitude, how they represent the character's spirit, how they bring the character to life in the artist's own representation, showing a little bit of the character's attitude, perhaps hinting at how they might fight in battle, what kind of attitude they would have taking on things like that. There's so much that can be displayed or represented through arts. As they say, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and these artists definitely know how to bring their characters to life. But they aren't the only ones. As it happens, every single character that won in the overall design contest also had artwork designed by their creator. The judging for the contest was solely based on the one-page description that was submitted to the contest, but the passion and dedication of the characters' creators was widely apparent, not only through that description, but also the amount of effort that they put forward to bring their character to life throughout their artwork. In our third place in the overall design contest is Rei Shirogane, created by Rebecca Lloyd. A character that is inspired by the game Okami, and a character that is based around artwork in and of herself. Rei's semblance allows her to bring her artwork to life, and wielding her massive brush that's also a halberd and also a gun, she can infuse dust with her paint and bring her artwork to life, giving it elemental attributes, and although aura constructs do have their own weaknesses, quite literally, the world is her canvas. The creation of this character, the way that she is designed, the inspiration and how well it fits with every aspect of her design is just incredible. All of these characters are incredible, but this one definitely stood out from the crowd. And in second place in the overall design contest, we have Sylvasia Kitrinos, created by Alabaster Mana. This character is absolutely amazing as well. Fits very well with the character's inspiration, the story of Vasilisa the Beautiful. This is a story where the character gets a wooden doll when they are young, when their mother passes away, I believe, if I remember reading that correctly. And Sylvasia's semblance summons a wooden doll to her side that can actually wield dust. Currently can only wield fire dust, but is a companion to her nonetheless. Something that was born out of loneliness, something that fits very well with the character's inspiration, as well as the axe that she wields being something that was passed down to her from her parents. Everything about this character, and the artwork, which was incredible, by the way, definitely eligible for one of the 3 art prizes as well, but the overall design overshadowed that, and I definitely think she is fitting to get number 2. But now the number 1 character in the overall design contest, the one that I put on the top, absolutely blew me away. By all accounts, this character, when I read their one-page description and then saw the artwork that they have, I was floored. I was just absolutely blown away by this character. The more I learned about this character, the more I grew to love them. The first place in our overall design contest is Aorta Flavis, created by Bloody Rosalia. The amount of dedication that has went into this character is astounding. Literally thousands of hours have been put into creating this character and bringing it to life. Bloody Rosalia has created an entire comic strip that has multiple different chapters already, completely drawn out and colorized, based around this character and her character's team. Aorta's team was actually designed by a number of other artists, and Bloody Rosalia is just drawing them all out in comic form, which is absolutely incredible. Like, credit where credit is due. Amazing art, amazing story, just incredible all the way around. So definitely check that out if you have the chance. But the character herself, Aorta Flavis, is an incredible character on her own. Her inspiration is probably one of the most unique out of any character that was submitted to this contest. Aorta, obviously the name sounds a bit odd to most people, as aorta is the blood vessel that's leading to the heart. This character is inspired by the circulatory system of the human body. And this relates very well to Bloody Rosalia herself, who's going to med school. She drew all of this comic while going to med school, put all of this effort into this character while, studying for med school. It was created years ago and has been continuously worked on since then, but On top of that, her weapon is incredible. It is a lantern that can open up into a bladed fan that uses fire dust and in combination with Aorta's semblance, which can turn herself as well as auraless objects into a bloody mist. Now, she can't actually maneuver or manipulate the mist like RWBY can manipulate her rose petals, but it can still allow certain attacks to pass through her. And when she separates something into mist, she can reform it into a different shape. The molecules themselves don't change, but she can use that to extend the chain on her weapon and use it in various different ways. She is an incredible character, very well designed. The weapon is amazing. The inspiration is just... I could go on and on about this character. It really blew me away, and I am really looking forward to seeing how she performs in the tournament. Now, each of the previous 12 characters are eligible for prizes and will be participating in the Phoenix Festival tournament. Unless, of course, I contact them tomorrow and for some reason they don't want to participate anymore, then I will move on to the next person on the list. But, speaking of the list, there are 20 more characters that are going to be participating in the Phoenix Festival tournament. And for now, I will simply list off the rest of the characters and their creators that are going to be participating in the Phoenix Festival tournament. In the more detailed videos that we're going to be going over with each of the characters that are going to be participating, I'll go into more detail on each of these characters, their semblances, their weapons, their abilities, and you'll learn more about them as we go. But for now, I will simply list off the rest of them. All the artist links will be down in the description below, as they have been for all of the characters that have been listed so far, and make sure you check out some of these artists, some of these characters. They are absolutely incredible. But now getting to the rest of the characters that are going to be participating in the Phoenix Festival OC tournament, starting with Mimi Hoppers, created by Namunomi. Then we have Rory Desher, created by Cats in My Face. And then we have Iris Shade, created by Smash Game 728. Then there's Salsa Testarossa by That AAJU. Next we have Moko Takiwatonga, created by Peter Middlekip. And then there's Obsidious Reed, created by Keith Montalbo. Olivia Verdant, created by Sphinx Herald. Then we have Kashoku Tsukido by Kuro Usagi. Need to take my time pronouncing some of these names as I'm not exactly familiar with them. Then we have Nila Von Hella by Kelsey Lynn. We have Narcissa Daffodil by Kaito Ikari. Then we have Krissa Ariadne by Vombatos Ursinus. Then we have Azul Silva by Invisible Anthony. We have Celeste Obscurum by Rivanius. We have Electra Kima by Emily Knob. We have Nyx Aureus by Shinoya. We have Cadence Caria by Painted Daisy. We have You Veriness by Ryan Barefoot. We have Oliver Reynard by Revenant Rising. We have Jin Gypsum by Rose Petal. And lastly, but not least, we have Eugenia Victoriana by Dylan Gordon. All of these incredible characters will be participating in the Phoenix Festival OC tournament. I will be emailing all of you to find out more about your characters tomorrow, as it's quite late where I am. This video has already been very much delayed, and I am so sorry for the delay. This is actually going to be coming out right at the beginning of July 4th when I said it was going to be coming out on July 3rd. There was just so much to go through with all of the different characters to get all of the artist links organized, to put them in the description down below, as well as make the final couple cuts on the characters, because it was really excruciating to make these final cuts. There are so many amazing characters that I wish I could have included, but for my own sanity as well as the amount of time that I have, I had to be able to cut it down to 32. So hopefully you guys will look forward to seeing each of these 32 characters in the tournament. Let me know down in the comments below which ones are your favorites, whether it's based on the design, what you thought of the different weapons and semblances that were created by the amazing people of this fandom. I'm really looking forward to seeing what all of you think about these characters. I hope you will all enjoy the Phoenix Festival tournament, even if your character may not have been selected. Don't worry, there's always next year where there will likely be a singles category and a teams category as well, though the teams category is probably going to be a lot less than 32 characters. It'll probably be something like 8 teams, maybe 16. We'll see when we get there, but still, there are plenty of chances to have your characters featured. They still might yet, get when I do separate videos, where at least I'm planning to do separate videos featuring different art, featuring other semblances I found interesting, etc. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you all enjoyed this contest. Again, I'm sorry that it was delayed, but if you want to keep up with each of these characters, learn more about them, make sure to subscribe and join the Guild of the Eternal Flame. Tweet me at PhoenixKnight7, check out all of the artists down in the description below, as well as their creators, and I will see you guys in the next video.